Everybody, welcome back to TJ's Tuesday Tidbits. Today we're going to be talking about ADHD. Big topic, right? School starting up. We got kids going back to school. We're going to really find out who can sit still and who can't, or based on what the teachers say, right? So ADHD is on a huge incline, and it's more readily diagnosed. So what do we do about it? Well, if you suspect your kids have ADHD, one of the biggest triggers is going to be a dietary issue, okay? High fructose corn syrup. Sugar, artificial sweeteners, all those are very, very bad for ADHD. Particularly artificial sweeteners. Those are going to be neurotoxic, they're going to be very stimulating. Kids are going to wake up, they're not going to be able to shut down. High fructose corn syrup is like sugar on steroids, okay? You consume a lot of that, soda pop, candies, all those things, then kids aren't going to be able to control their outbursts, they're not going to be able to control their behavior, they're not going to be able to focus. So it's going to drive their brain crazy. So, what else do we have? We have food, right? Food can be a big trigger too. How do we know if food's a trigger? Well, if you give them inflammatory foods and you see their behavior changes, that's a big factor. Gluten is a big factor. Fast foods are going to be a big factor. You get into all your different oils that you find at the fast food restaurants. Okay, those are all going to be huge factors in stimulating the dynamics of the neurotransmitters of the brain so that the kids can't shut down their behavior or their impulses. Then you have a kid who doesn't listen, you have a kid who can't control his talking, you have a kid who is constantly moving in their chair, they're not listening, and now you have someone who's being suggested for going on a stimulant. Well, now what? So they're suggesting stimulants to calm down these things, but why do those calm down ADHD when all these other stimulants make it worse? The stimulants that are given as medication for ADHD work on an area of your brain called your mesolimbic areas, your nigral areas of your brain, okay? Those stimulate dopamine. Now dopamine rushes up and actually stimulates your frontal lobe, and your frontal lobe will actually decrease these outbursts. When your frontal lobe is higher functioning, these outbursts become inhibited, okay? So that's the issue with ADHD. It's usually a frontal lobe issue that's not slowing down these behavior issues, okay? So what can we do with that outside of giving them narcotics and outside of giving them these salt stimulants that stimulate the dopamine receptors and dopamine releases? You start stimulating the frontal lobe, right? Well, how do we do that? You have to go to a chiropractic neurologist. You have to, or a functional neurologist who can assess which frontal lobe is going to be the worst one and start stimulating that like we do here. And we'll set you up on a whole number of eye exercises that stimulate that frontal lobe along with a bunch of other exercises, and kids can do really, really well with that. Secondly, you remove the things in the diet. Well, how do we know what to remove? Here at our office, we do what's called a meridian stress assessment, and it can pick up on food sensitivities, and then you know exactly which foods to eliminate. Or you just go on to elimination diet, you start removing gluten, dairy, wheat, soy, all those things, any dyes, okay? Artificial sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, and sugar. Get those out of the diet and see how the kids do. And if that changes, which I guarantee it will, then you know you're on the right track, okay? Now, what do you do instead? Like, let's say the kid needs some sweet stuff. Well, stevia is a good thing for people to have. It's fiber, it's natural, and can work wonders for getting those sweet sensations and sweet taste buds without giving you any of the side effects of the sugar, okay? So you find things sweet with stevia and less sugar. Don't do anything that's considered diet, because that's going to be artificial sweeteners, and that's going to rack up the neurotransmitters in the brain and cause a lot of toxicity. Okay? Red dyes particularly are also along those same lines. All right? So at home, you're suspecting ADHD. You're going to eliminate any of the food factors that you think might be causing it, especially candy, pop, sugars, gluten, soy and wheat, and dairy. Okay? Big list, right? It can be done, but it might be tough. Secondly, if that works, but you're not quite there yet, you come into a functional neurologist who can work more with stimulating the certain areas of the brain to get those to fire off, okay? Thirdly, you go in and get a meridian stress assessment, or you can even do a blood analysis for food sensitivities and figure out which foods exactly are doing that, okay? Because there could be other ones too. And then you start to eliminate those foods and see how much better they do, okay? So that is ADHD in a nutshell. Frontal lobe stimulation, not inhibiting the limbic outbursts that occur. So we need to work on those frontal lobes, work on what's causing the dopamine rushes and releases, and try to do a neurological balance, all right? So if you have any questions with ADHD, look us up, boldafamilychiro.com. Our phone number is 507-425-0025. My wife, Dr. Sarah, she's over at the Edgerton Clinic, 507-631-7565. Works magic with pediatrics and kids. Give us a call, let us know, and we'll happily answer any questions that you may have involved around this. We work on this a lot, and we do some wonders, okay? Next week, come in and tune into us. We're going to be talking about POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. New thing, not new, but a big thing that's getting more and more recognition, all right? Thanks a lot, guys. You have a great week.